We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
So where do we find your characters post Paddington?
If the first film was about Paddington finding a home, now he's established there, and he himself is become a friend of the community and is exploring the wider world. In terms of the Browns, Mr. Brown is having a bit of a midlife crisis. He's been passed over for promotion. His hair's going grey, his tummy's falling out, and his bones are creaking, and it's all a nightmare. So he's trying to claw back his youth a bit and get fit and eat healthily and all that. So that's where Mr. Brown is at the moment.
I think my character actually likes Paddington in this one straight away. So that's good. She's a lot nicer, which is nice to play, and. She is newly single, so she's got the whole motivation to be independent, and even though she's got that, Paddington does help a lot with that, and it's there's some lovely scenes between them, and it's really lovely, really lovely.
I think for me, Paddington's my brother in a way, and obviously we're together a lot of the time. We do all sorts of things. We make steam trains, Meccano sets, and my character, I think. Because I'm at a new school, changes his character completely. So he's not truly himself, and he has to adapt to what other people think of him. And I think Paddington helps him with that, to say what he should truly be.
Is there a feeling of growing up with this character? Because now you guys, we're quite literally seeing the two of you kind of grow up properly on screen. Is there a feel of where you're involved with the development of the characters and where you bring in real life emotion into it?
Yeah, definitely. I think on the first film I did relate to Judy quite a bit with the whole, going into a new school and finding your ground with friends and things like that. Because at the time I was in my second year of secondary school, so I had literally just finished doing that. And in this one, I think her whole finding a new hobby and sort of finding her path in life, that was very similar to what I've recently done as well, and getting back into my art in real life, that's very similar to how Judy got into journalism. So I definitely have found that I've related to my character in some way or form in both films. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think Jonathan, he's a very energetic character, and I think people would say that I myself am very energetic. Yeah. And I think that he is very rebellious. In the first film, he is very rebellious to his parents, and that is easily reflected, you could say, for myself against certain people. And yeah, I think that's what I have to say.
And Hugh, how about flexing your action hero muscles once more? Which is something I'm sure you must have enjoyed.
That was a hoot, actually. Yeah, painful but a hoot, and I think there's plenty more in Mr. Brown's reserve tank. Yeah.
Yeah, how was shooting the final kind of big hurrah, the train sequence? What was the kind of process of getting it made? How much of it was quite literally a train?
Well, we had the front of the steam train, and we also had several carriages of the fairground trains. So it was just a case of lining them up where they needed to be in order to make the shot go in a sequence. But we had a good time, didn't we?
It was quite complicated, and luckily Paul King has a lot of imagination and is able to keep the whole story in his head, because I got desperately confused about where we were, which train we were on, and who we were chasing.
And do you have any hope for the sequel? Any kind of characters from the books, cartoons, if you're aware of them, or where do you want your characters to be if there is a sequel? Hopefully there's a sequel.
I see
another one. I mean, I hope there's a third one.
Oh my goodness, I hadn't thought of that. I mean, there's lots of material, isn't there?
There is. There's so many like little sort of events in the books and things. Like I'd love the auction house scene to be in there somewhere, just because I think it's really endearing of Paddington. But there's so many. It could go anywhere really.
I think we do see Paddington put on this duffel coat, but I will always remember when he goes to a very fine shop, and he kind of messes around with the shop, and he virtually destroys the whole shop. And I don't know how in some way the manager is very kind to him and offers him to get virtually anything he wants. And I would quite like to see that in the film.